Tonight, the Minister for Infrastructure concedes that the state of the island's roads are bad amid mounting public pressure. St. Lucians to dig deeper into their pockets to afford the cost of living following the imposition of a new health and safety tax in August. And traffic management infrastructure is being considered to ease traffic congestion along the busy Bradouage area.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Daniela Edwin.
Good evening. It is Monday, August 7th, 2023. I am Daniela Edwin. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We are on Flow Channel 117, Kiss FM, the Caribbean Hot FM mobile app, and the Caribbean Hot 7 TV Facebook page. Not forgetting those of you using the Hot 7 plug and play antenna. Thank you for joining us. In recent weeks, the Department of Infrastructure has been under fire over the dilapidated condition of the island's road network. NCOPT President Godfrey Ferdinand recently joined the fray, stating that there appears to be a lack of urgency in rehabilitating the roadways. Responding to the criticism, Infrastructure Minister Stephenson King explains that there is a multitude of factors which have led to the deterioration of the island's roads.
I often say to my staff at Infrastructure that while every government ministry comes under scrutiny occasionally, the Ministry of Infrastructure comes under scrutiny every day. The moment you step onto the pavement, then you're under scrutiny, and you either get good comments or you get bad comments. I guess most times you get bad.
The Department of Infrastructure continues to face backlash as motorists and commuters alike complain about the poor condition of the island's road infrastructure. The perennial issue was once again brought into focus recently when President of the National Council on Public Transportation, Godfrey Ferdinand, observed that there was a lack of urgency in rehabilitating dilapidated roadways across the island. Ferdinand's public criticism was charged by complaints received by members lamenting the damages incurred as a result of traversing poor road conditions. Notwithstanding the significant investment the state has funneled towards road reconstruction projects and the extensive work undertaken by the Department of Infrastructure's Road Maintenance Unit, Senior Minister Stephenson King acknowledges that some roads are in fact deplorable. He opines that the effect of climate change, compounded by the degradation of older roadways over time, has negatively impacted the island's road network.
In recent times, we've seen climate change, really doing havoc on our road infrastructure. And that is because the road pavements are aging, they are fatigued. So once you've got a period of dry weather, the rains come down, then the roads start flaking, and then the potholes develop. We have tried in recent times to continue the maintenance of the roads from within the ministry, rather than go outsourcing it from private sector. It's more costly. So we've been doing that. Notwithstanding the investments that were made over the last 3 or 4 years in most of our roads, what you see happening are the older roads are beginning to deteriorate.
King, however, informs that the department is exploring avenues to reduce on the prevalence of defects subsequent to road construction or rehabilitation, one of which being the monitoring of roadways to register occurrences and patterns of the given road surfaces.
We're looking at a more strategic road maintenance program, which I believe must start as soon as the road is delivered. So when a road is delivered, your maintenance regime must come into place. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be there the next day with rake and shovel and digging it up. But then there's the observance period, that period of vigilance, that period of looking at your road to see how your road is behaving. Because the road itself behaves, as you would see when you drive on the roads. You would see all of the alligator and cracks, as we call them, and that is a sign of activity taking place on the road service.
Looking towards the future for the development of St. Lucia's road network, the senior minister explains that remedies will be sought to rectify the pressing issues associated with the roads under a new infrastructure strategic plan dubbed Infrastructure 2030.
I have been given a commitment by the Prime Minister. This year is the year for health and national security, citizenry security. Next year will be infrastructure. So as we speak, we are vigorously working on an infrastructure strategic plan, which is called Infrastructure 2030, which will be launched later this year. And the whole idea of Infrastructure 2030 is putting a national infrastructure program in place to deal with our primary, secondary, and tertiary road programs.
Infrastructure 2030 is expected to be funded through grant funding, private and public sector investment. Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Kareem Nelson.
Immediately following the imposition of the 2.5% health and security tax on August 2nd, consumers are observing the massive spike in the cost of goods to them. The situation has left many wondering what recourse is available to consumers. Our news crew paid a visit to the Consumer Affairs Department to further investigate. An interview with the Director of Consumer Affairs revealed that the department has no say and no power to exert any authority on goods that are not price controlled. We have the details in this Eldris Charles report.
The announcement by Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre of zero-rated VAT on selected items including building materials and sanitary napkins among others has been welcomed by local consumers. The move, according to the Prime Minister, was designed to boost the construction sector and provide the opportunity for many St. Lucians to build their homes due to reduced costs of building materials. However, the reality is that the cost spikes in goods and services due to the imposition of the 2.5% health and security tax could offset any dream of home ownership. In addition to consumer feedback since the implementation of the tax, which indicate that prices have soared to more than 100% on some items, officials at the Inland Revenue Department have confirmed that the levy is imposed on all imported goods as well as an exhaustive list of services, including construction. In fact, consumers have little to no protection from the new pricing scheme since all imports attract the tax. Under the Distribution and the Price of Goods Act, Cap 13.09, the Consumer Affairs Department is responsible for approving prices of price-controlled goods and the island-wide monitoring of the prices of these items. The following items are listed in the Act and are price-controlled: household staples such as rice, sugar, flour, etc., baby foods and juices, certain canned foods, school supplies, fertilizers and pesticides, certain hygiene products, certain dairy products, oil and fuel. Yet, while these items do not attract a value-added tax, some do, however, incur the 2.5% health and security levy. According to the Acting Director of Consumer Affairs, Mrs. Wendy Frederick, due to the lack of legislation, the department has no power to influence the pricing of goods not covered by the Act. In fact, she admits the Consumer Affairs Department cannot step in to protect consumers from price gouging, which is when supermarkets raise prices exorbitantly after a shortage or natural disaster.
So the Consumer Affairs Department basically is responsible for monitoring the prices of items that are on the list of price control goods according to the Distribution and Price of Goods Act. These are basic commodities. So, for example, rice, flour, sugar, cereals. So basic commodities, including textbooks, uniforms. So these are things that we monitor the prices for. We do not monitor the price of all goods except what's on the list of the price control items. So that's what we're able to monitor.
Frederick says that price gouging, while frowned upon by the department, is not illegal. While they can monitor the situation, effectively, the Consumer Affairs Department can do nothing to alleviate the plight of the citizenry. The only recourse is to educate consumers so they can choose better when faced with high prices on supermarket shelves.
We can monitor these items, right? And even if we monitor these items, what would happen? We still cannot tell the supplier to bring down the prices of these items because it's not legislated, it's not price controlled. So we cannot tell the supermarkets or the suppliers to lower their prices, because these items are not being monitored. So even if we monitor the prices, there's no control. So we cannot tell them, okay, this is too expensive, you have to bring down the price. As the Consumer Affairs Department, because we cannot monitor we don't monitor the prices or we don't control all prices, right? We try to educate consumers in terms of helping them to seek alternatives in terms of pricing.
Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Eldridge Charles.
Minister for Infrastructure Stephenson King has responded to public concerns surrounding traffic in the north of the island. With the development of the Orange Grove Mall in Badawaj, some observers have questioned how authorities will manage the already dense traffic situation on the Castries-Grosley Highway. The minister noted that possible infrastructure changes could come to the area to help alleviate the congestion. Queen Sajist was at Monday's pre-cabinet press briefing and filed this report.
The development of the Orange Grove Mall in Badawaj has been met with mixed reviews by several observers. While many note that the addition could bring much needed commercial growth to the area, others contend that the mall could exacerbate the traffic congestion already experienced while traversing the highway. Set to house several businesses, the new mall is expected to be a hotbed for economic activity. With commuters already having to cope with daily traffic jams on the Castries-Grosley Highway, many have questioned what will be done to alleviate the backup when the mall is fully operational. Minister for Infrastructure Stephenson King noted that the level of concern expressed by citizens over this issue is valid. King added that more should have been done by technicians during the design process to ensure that the problems were dealt with earlier. In spite of this, the minister noted that his ministry is looking into possible measures to allow traffic to flow freely.
It is a real situation that's facing us head on, and I'm not too happy that our technicians were, if I should say, were active enough to make sure that they came with the right design at that location. So we're reviewing it. There are a number of soft measures along the Castries-Grosley Highway that we've already put together. We looked at it, we discussed it. Soft measures that would allow for greater traffic management. But right at the mall, between the mall and the gas station, we have to come up with a solution.
One of the recommendations that has been floated by experts has been the addition of a roundabout in the area, similar to the one in Union. The minister noted that this idea is certainly up for discussion and that commercial stakeholders in the area must be implicated in the conversation.
One of the recommendations which was made was to use the entire triangle from Sunbelt all the way down to Computer World, using the back road as a quasi roundabout. So you come up north, once you hit Computer World, up to the bridge, and then heading south, you only use the back road. Again, we have to speak to the business owners, because some may believe that, well, you're taking away some of my business. No one would want to pass my business, go around and come, or this sort of thing. So we're looking at it. We're actively looking at the options. There's a school of thought that maybe we can widen that section of the road, that neck of the road, and to create the necessary slipways and holding lanes, making sure we provide adequate holding patterns for the vehicles.
Only time will tell how effective the prospective measures will be if they are implemented. Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Queen Sajis.
Still to come on the broadcast, the POV. The POV provides you, our valued viewers and listeners, an opportunity to sound off on trending issues in the news only from your point of view. In light of the new 2.5% health and security levy that has been imposed on goods and some services, consumers appear to already be feeling the pinch. Prices have soared on items and in some cases over 100%. We wanted to hear from the public their views on the latest development. Our question to you is, what items have you observed price increases on? Here is how you responded.
I have not been observant about that. I know everything is up more than 100% generally in the supermarket, but I have not observed.
I find the prices are really ridiculous, honestly. And we have our young girls coming up now, and to see you have to buy pads so expensive, it looks like people will have to go back to diaper.
Tuna fish. I go in there, I see the tuna fish high price. And what else? The soft drink. We have the tiger malt, the alcohol and them kind of thing. The food stuff we get in from overseas, it increasing in price.
Everything.
The tuna fish, I think that's one. I'm not sure of the others, but I know the tuna fish for sure. I don't really buy it, but I can see some of the things are, but I'm not very familiar with, to tell you the truth, what more than.
Everything raised in the supermarket, mostly every day, every minute. Water, rice, peas, you should get oil. You know, important thing people want to eat, that reason. You understand?
Coming up next, the infrastructure minister sides with the prime minister on the state and pace of works on the Millennium Highway, and St. Lucian's to pay more for the 100-pound LPG cylinder. Don't go away, we'll bring you the details to these stories and so much more right after this.